What is going on, everybody? It's Packer People 12 or Joey coming back at you with another episode of the Underage Packers podcast. As always, joined by my fantastic co-host, Jamal Williams, connoisseur, Big B.
What's up? How's it going?
It's going great. Always a joy to have you join me.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
You know you hate me deep down inside.
Okay. I have no comment on that.
Exactly.
But today, Packers obviously they cut down from 80 to 53 players. So we are here giving you all the updates, all our thoughts on that, and even answering a few of your guys' questions.
Yep.
So let's start off what I would call big boy cuts. These cuts that matter. So we're going to be talking about everything going on with the Packers. Then we're going to end it off with some NFL news and kind of tie it in to how it affects the Packers. So, big boy cuts of 2020. Defensive lineman Travion Hester, wide receiver Darius Shepard, wide receiver Malik Turner, outside linebacker Tim Williams, former CFL star wide receiver Reggie Beggleton, fullback John Lovett, and center Jake Hansen. And I'm obviously, I left out probably the greatest and most surprising for the end, Jake Kummerow.
Touchdown, Jesus.
His blessings and his graces leave 1265 Lombardi. I tweeted out last night. Follow me on Twitter, by the way. It might be Jake Kummerow's last day as a Packer. I tweeted that out on Friday.
Yep.
8 hours later, we found out that was true.
Yeah.
I think I jinxed him.
You
but
did.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I saw this coming or I don't think it's what I would do, but I also have a huge bias for Jake Kummerow.
Yes.
Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur are looking exactly at evaluating talent that they're paid much more than I am to do, and much more than a lot of people. What are your thoughts? Do you think this will be a smart move in the long run for the Packers?
I don't really know.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot. I think it's going to be a different offensive play style. Who knows? Jake Kummerow, right now, he is not a Packer. He might get to the practice squad with the new COVID rules. He is practice squad eligible. But I tend to doubt that he will make it through waivers just because he has a lot more tape to show than a lot of these guys that are out there. He's played in a lot more games than almost anybody. He has a lot of preseason tape to offer. But let's talk about the other releases. As we said, quite a few wide receivers in there. Darius Shepard, Malik Turner, Reggie Beggleton. And surprisingly, the wide receiver that they chose to be their wide receiver number 5. And, this was the whole discussion for the past few weeks, months. Who is going to be that guy? I think they had got their 4 locked in. Devontae Adams, Alan Lazard. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm not good at this. Be their wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. You got rookie, or not rookies, but from the 2018 draft class. EQ St. Brown, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. But the whole question was, who's going to be that guy after them? You got 4 established guys, but who's going to be that other person? Did you see Malik Taylor winning this race? Did you even see him as a candidate 24 hours ago?
No, I thought it was going to be a race between Turner, Beggleton, and Kummerow. I did not even think about Taylor at all.
Yeah.
Not one thought popped in my mind.
Mm-hmm. We've talked about the last 2 weeks about Jake Kummerow extensively and this whole situation of the wide receiver depth chart, because that's pretty much been the whole topic of this long offseason. Not drafting a wide receiver, drafting a quarterback instead. What is our wide receiver depth chart looking like? Malik Taylor, definitely unexpected. We talked about how Jake Kummerow he should have had at least quite a bit of mileage ahead of Reggie Beggleton. I still think he did. But Malik Taylor, he also kind of has that. He has that experience with the team. So, who knows? We'll have to see. Hopefully, he can become Alan Lazard, who was waived last year. He was waived at the 53 when they cut down. But he was promoted to the active roster prior to week 2. Taylor, You heard her here first. Malik Taylor is the next Alan Lazard.
That's you, not me. That's all you, by the way.
Okay.
All right.
I'm up for the heat. Now that we got those out of the way, also some other ones surprising. Let's talk about that right now. Who are your 3 surprises of the cut down, whether it be surprise that they got cut, surprise that they made it? Who are your 3 surprises of the day?
Tim Williams, the outside linebacker. I thought he was going to be outside linebacker number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Had high hopes for him. I was ready to get on eBay and buy that autograph card of him. I was already picking some out. Then he got cut, of course. And then my second one is Jake Kumaro, of course. And I am surprised that I don't know how to say his name.
Ento.
Yes. I'm surprised he made the roster. I'm shocked.
Yeah, I definitely was too. I thought they would feel pretty confident in their corners, and that doesn't mean they aren't confident. Kabion must have just shown they had to keep him. My 3 surprises have to be Malik Taylor, Tipa Galley, and Yash Neiman. More so what these players, they affected the roster. Malik Taylor, who steps in over Jake Kumro. We talked about that. Tipa Galley, who doesn't get on, but then allows a spot for Randy Ramsey and Jonathan Garvin. And Yash Neiman was my other guy. Coming in, we had Alex Light, John Leglu cut at offensive tackle. I was surprised to see Neiman go in there and get that roster spot.
It wasn't. I made him. I had to make him my roster.
Oh, you had him in your roster prediction, didn't you?
Yep, I did.
Wow. Well, congratulations. Here you go. Make sure to get you a cookie.
Yay, thank you, Dad.
All right. To end off, this is kind of crazy. It does, right now we're talking about just wrapped up training camp, no preseason games. We just found out who's going to be on the roster, and 1 week from now, we will be getting ready to have our first game.
Yes.
And the cycle begins. I love it. Love it. Yeah, I don't love it as much as the cutting of John Lovett, though. And that leads me to our next point, the practice squad. Who is going to be on the practice squad? I think I'll go with mine first. John Lovett, I definitely think should be a great signing to the practice squad. We waived him today. He was an all-around dude in Princeton. He was more than Taysom Hill, in my opinion. He's a lot bigger than Taysom Hill. And Taysom Hill is pretty big for the role he plays. Yeah. But Lovett, he's quarterback, wide receiver. He can kick. He can punt. He can file your divorce papers for you. He can do all of it. Hopefully they bring him onto the practice squad, just see what they have. Tipa Galley, who I know a lot of people had high hopes for this preseason, including us. Darius Shepard, who I really hope he gets past waivers. Dexter Williams, just because I feel like they have to feel like they still have something. I mean, they kept him on the roster last year. He was a 6th-round draft pick. I definitely feel like they should still feel confident. I think it was either Ben Sherman or Matt LaFleur who mentioned him. And finally, Stanford Samuels, who I know had a pretty good camp. Those are my 5 guys. Obviously, we have 16 this year. Those are just 5 that I would like to see brought back. Big B, who are your 3 or 4 guys that you predict coming back to the practice squad?
Sadly, Alex Light. Not a big fan of him. But
Why? Is there
he just sucks. I have that one player every year that I just completely hate, and he just magically appears in that category. And then other one is Tim Williams, who I mentioned before, and Reggie Beggleton, and friend of the show, Green Bay Today, reported that Packers will sign Greg Roberts to the practice squad, and he is my other man.
Nice. I'm so glad that you're finally getting along with my friend of the show hype. Everybody that has ever acknowledged us on Twitter, even if it's just acknowledging that Big B exists, they're friends of the show. Wes Hockowitz, he liked one of our tweets before. We actually had a whole conversation with Wes Hockowitz and Mike Spofford. That was pretty neat. So they're friends of the show now. Aaron Nagler's a friend of the show. We actually want to get him on. Who else is a friend of the show? Oh, Ty Summers, Blake Martinez, because we've met them. Josh Jackson, Jamal Williams,
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones. Yeah, Aaron Jones is a big friend of the show. He's more
Yep.
so than Jamal and Ty Summers. Chris Jackie's a friend of the show. Yeah,
Everybody.
Preston Smith's a friend of the show because you met him at Arby's Steakhouse.
Yep.
We have a lot of friends here, so we're always looking for new friends of the show. Except if you're Alex Light, then please don't send in your friend application. Now, we want to end it off by talking about the NFL news. A lot of extensions, a lot of surprise cuts around the league. Let's talk about that. First of all, the Chicago Bears, they are still a burning dumpster fire. But Mitch Trubisky is named the starting quarterback of the Chicago Bears. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, how bad does Nick Foles have to look for them to say, man, we're going to trust this guy that we've put faith in for the past 3 years and has never worked. We're going to do it again. We even declined his fifth-year option, but he's our starting quarterback. We even traded for a guy, and we sent him a pretty decent pick, but Mitch Trubisky is our starting quarterback. I have no problem with it. You're doing great, Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy. Keep it up, please. So as we were saying, Mitch Trubisky is absolutely awful. The Bears named him as starting quarterback. Let's talk about another quarterback that was taken pretty high in the draft and hasn't worked out at all. It's Josh Rosen, cut by the Miami Dolphins. I almost called them the New England Dolphins. But very interesting move. They got to us, so there was no question who was going to be their quarterback in the future. But it's a sad career for Josh Rosen, who's been thrown around. I don't think his two situations have definitely been right for him, but it does make you question if Josh Rosen, who's supposedly a top 10 draft pick, why is he so bad that even if they have a bad offensive line, they can't say, all right, we'll build around Josh Rosen. We got him for a second-round pick. Let's keep him, see what we can get out of him. There's definitely something wrong with Josh Rosen. I know even before the draft there was some controversy, like he wasn't dedicated or loyal to the game. But, I love the Josh Rosen story, and I hope he can turn it around.
Yep.
Next up, Adrian Peterson released by the Washington football team.
The football team.
Yes, not the Redskins. The Washington football team is pretty good the past 2 years with them. But obviously they felt his contract, his age, get some more players on the roster. And they don't have to kind of keep that dead weight with them. Is it time to bring Adrian Peterson to the Packers? I have to ask.
No.
Now, these next two are actually possible candidates: Mohamed Sanu and Hakeem Butler. Hakeem Butler, especially. I know you have your eye on him. You've been sending him love letters on Twitter.
I have.
What's so special in the former Iowa State?
I just love him. I just love Hakeem Butler. And one of my card buddies is an Iowa State collector, and he's a Vikings fan. So if we sign him, I get to rub it in his face even more.
That's great. So it's a college thing that he has about him.
Yep, pretty much it.
I mean, if it was a release, they aren't shopping him. I don't believe so. Who knows? Maybe they bring him in. I don't see it happening. I wrote an article about this on the website the other day, but I don't think they signed another wide receiver. Maybe they
at least the workout. At least the workout.
Maybe at least. We'll give him a chance.
Yeah.
Next up, Jadeveon Clowney. As we're recording this, there's not too much confirmed, but he is apparently signed with the Titans, where he has been moving around all offseason from, I'm not signing with anybody. I'm going to sign with the Seahawks. I'm going to sign with the Jets. A bunch of confusion, but he finally decided to sign with the Titans this weekend. So, were you paying attention at all to the saga just this past week, really, with the Saints? Yeah.
Not really.
I didn't understand really his contract, what he was expecting to get paid.
Yeah.
But
that is what it is. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to afford him, and I don't think we'd have too much purpose for him. I think he'd be more, uh, probably he'd be a different player than the Smith brothers, that's for sure. But we also have Rashawn Gary. We were also considering signing Everson Griffin. Nothing about it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And to end it off, let's talk contract extensions. Obviously, Kenny Clark got one the other week, and they are starting to get those around the NFL as they are finalizing rosters. Deshaun Watson got a contract extension today for 4 years and $160 million. What's better? I mean, like it's better than Brock Osweiler. I mean, they at least have that going for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just a bizarre offseason for the Texans, to say the least. Keenan Allen signs an extension with the Chargers, and Tre'Davious White, the top cornerback for the Bills, signs extensions. So to end this episode off, episode 18, I got to ask, who is the next Packer to get a contract extension? We got a lot of guys on the line: Aaron Jones, David Bakhtiari, maybe even Kevin Keene. Who is it? Or
You know
BJ
where I'm
Rapp.
going with this. You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I do.
Jamal Williams is
no.
going to get a contract extension because he's the GOAT, the GOAT.
I did not expect that to be where you were going. I thought you were just gonna go with. I thought you were just gonna go with the logical answer of David Bakhtiari.
Nope, Jamal Williams getting a contract extension. You heard it here first. I am dead serious about that too. Jamal Williams getting a contract extension.
All right, we'll let you live in Lava Land.
Thank you.
That is a great clippable moment, though. I thank you for that. But
yes,
my answer has to be David Bakhtiari. And I mean, possibly Aaron Jones. Maybe they give David Bakhtiari the franchise tag. I definitely think it's Bakhtiari, though. Maybe, who knows, though? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Jamal Williams here. Like, who knows? That's the greatness of it all. That's the excitement of them all. Jamal Williams could rush for 2,000 yards this year and 20 touchdowns. It could happen, folks.
He will.
You heard it here first from Big B, and that's why you got to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Follow everywhere we are so you can hear all of Big B's hot takes. But other than that, make sure, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you later. Peace.